Will the real estate market in Canada fail in 2023? I've been talking to a ton of people who've been in the business for over 30 years, and they've been saying that it is starting to feel like 2008 all over again. I believe we all can agree that Justin Trudeau's government has totally screwed the real estate market and has left us in this little no man's land, not knowing what to do to proceeding to get the real estate market back on track. The real estate industry is the biggest economic driver for what we do for GDP here in Canada, and Justin Trudeau has literally screwed it over. For the people that really have a passion for hating Justin Trudeau, drop in the comments below everything you think that he needs to do differently in order for the Canadian market to start having success again. Here's something that's going to really rattle your financial senses and not really be able to understand. National home sales in Canada have dropped over 2% from last September. Yet the average home price has continued to rise. And it's really hard to grasp when sales decline so much and we are in a softer market that prices continue to rise even though sales continue to go down. And I'll share my beliefs on why I think this is happening, and it's pegged to one main reason where the Canadian government has really came short and caused this themselves. And if you're someone that's really trying to understand the real estate market, you're going to want to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be releasing a ton of content keeping you up to date with what's going on in the Canadian real estate market. Now let's get back to that discrepancy between sales and prices. Canadian real estate market is showcasing a dichotomy right now currently. Sales are declining, but prices are ascending. So what does this actually mean for you, the consumer, and what should you do in 2023 if you're planning to make a real estate move? Like I always tell people who watch this channel, this video is going to be based off of a general blanket of what's going on in the Canadian market. For the people that really are looking to make a real estate move, you want to look at what's happening in your local market. For an example, you could be living in Calgary where the real estate market is absolutely on fire, or then you drive an hour and a half north to Red Deer where it is crickets and you cannot get your home sold no matter what you're trying to do. Even with reducing the price thousands and thousands of dollars, it's almost impossible to get a sale there right now. And it's so close to Calgary. So that's what I mean. It's very specific to whatever market you're in. Even here in BC, the Vancouver market still has low inventory. We're here in Kelowna right now. We're at 12 months of inventory. So we are now in an extreme buyer's market where we're not too far away. So this is what I mean. You really have to make sure whatever information you're getting is specific to your local market. The National Price Forecast just released saying that they project that real estate prices are supposed to decline 3% by the end of year here in Canada, with an annual price of $680,000. Nationally, there was 37,000 homes that were sold in September, with the typical home sale price in September being $741,000. But here's the real kicker on why we're seeing sale prices go down, but prices increase, and it comes down to supply and demand. Canada has the least amount of housing available per 1,000 people out of any country in the world. This lack of supply, bottlenecked from the Canadian government not implementing any physical policy, making it advantageous for developers and people to build property, has really caused a extreme bottleneck in the supply and demand. And you're seeing it in a lot of markets where these people are there's so much demand and so little housing that it doesn't matter if we're in an extremely soft market in terms of what's going on for interest rates. It's just not directly correlating. The stat that I always look at is when interest rates go up by 1%, typically your borrowing power should decrease by 10%, which meaning does have an effect on the real estate market where if people are now being able not to afford the same amount of home, that prices should gradually decrease. But we're still seeing prices increase, and we've had an over 100% increase in the Bank of Canada rate since last year at this time. So that means that people are now literally getting almost 25% less of a potential mortgage of what they were able to be pre-approved for last year. But it hasn't quite correlated to seeing this massive decrease in pricing. That's where I have this little eerie feeling, and I don't quite know truthfully where to pinpoint it, but talking to a lot of other experts who've been in the industry for a long time, it is showing signs of what happened in 2008, where things kind of were just out of whack, out of norm, and then things just came crashing down. And just for an example of this, in September of 2023, BC reported an average sale price of $966,000. That is a 5% increase year over year, and it is 1% higher than last month. Now transitioning to some macroeconomic variables where we saw inflation come to a absolutely extreme number last year and still are battling all those effects that we're seeing trickle down to the end consumer. This is where I personally can't really wrap my head around why real estate prices haven't declined, because inflation has really eaten away thousands and thousands of dollars from every single Canadian in our market. Plus, with the interest rates being so high, you would figure that Canadians have less money to buy all these homes, especially in Vancouver, where the average single family home price is $1.3 million now. Like, who is being able to buy these homes currently right now with interest rates so high and inflation still crippling our savings as Canadians? One thing that people really need to understand is they get very short-sighted where they see things just go absolutely insane, say like in 2020, 2021, 2022, where real estate prices were growing up 20-30% every single year. This was not healthy for the market, and people were just a little bit short-sighted thinking that the good times were just going to continue. Now we've seen inflation get out of control, interest rates are out of control, we're still not building enough homes. Is this the precedent of like a potential massive bubble coming down the pipe and seeing it where it's going to finally pop the Canadian real estate market like what happened in the US in 2008?